I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Sistas, season something, episode 7. And we're going to go ahead and jump into it. If you're new here and you enjoyed the video at the end, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel. If you've been here before and you haven't yet subscribed, don't hesitate to subscribe and hit the like button, share the content, tell a friend and tell a friend, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. And let me put my glasses on so I can see. Y'all know I need my readers. Okay, so last week we left off with Fatima knocking on Karen's door. So Fatima's at Karen's. Her mother lets her in. It's real awkward, as we expected it to be. I thought Fatima was going to come there. Her cousin was going to be in the cut somewhere, but she wasn't. So Lisa explains to Fatima while they're all there. Karen, of course, is having a difficult time with Fatima sitting there in her house. I think it's a horrible idea. I think it's terrible. But Karen starts bashing Zach in her letter. It's angry, it's bitter, it's hurt, it's all that stuff. Basically what she's been given the last 2 seasons. And she says, she's like, I just know it's your baby, and I just know I'm going to have to... Girl, you don't know whose baby it is, but we're going to let it go. You wanted to be his baby. But she even said, like, I don't want you, but I want you. Like, it was just a lot. But I understand. Trust me, I understand. I think a lot of us women have been, having these feelings at some point in some time with some relationship. But it's just dragging to the point where it's just like, girl, you hurting yourself holding on to this bitterness. Let it go. So then Karen says she don't even know what a healthy relationship looks like thanks to Zach. And she's just blaming Zach. I know y'all been together for 3 years. Were you never in a relationship before? Was Zach your first relationship? Because why is everything solely being put on Zach? So after she said, I don't know what a healthy relationship look like, Zach gonna say, like this, pointing at him and Fatima. I said, ooh, Lord. Talk about kicking somebody while they down. But he was tired of the bashing because she like tearing him up. And Zach was like, you know what? He hated that he couldn't provide for her. Like, every woman in his life treated him the way Karen treats him. That's probably why he gravitated towards her. Oh, now my heat kicking on. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all. So we back. But yes, so because of his relationship that sounds strained with his mother, that's probably why he gravitated towards Karen in the first place. And I'm just like, okay, now we're getting a little more layers to Zach. Are we going to talk about this more in the show? I don't know if they're talking about it on Sistas, because I ain't been watching Sistas, but we need to be talking to, not Sistas. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Zatima. I don't know if they're talking about it on Zatima, but they need to talk about it over here on Sistas. But he also said that, the fact that he couldn't provide, he gave her the money, that's not making up for all the everything you put her through for those years. So while that's nice that you gave her the money, it's giving acrimony. Tyler, you just can't keep putting this script everywhere you feel like putting it. We already seen the script on acrimony. Whatever. So Fatima checks Karen because she's like, I got something to say. I came over here with something to say. So she tells her the relationship that she has with Zach is over. Because she started off nice, like no disrespect, respectfully. I understand that you still love Zach. I understand you still got feelings for him. But it's over. Somebody play Nivea, don't mess with my man. Okay? Leave him alone. It's done. Okay? She like, you need to stop coming past the house. Stop coming past our home. You being real disrespectful because Karen had all that rah-rah. You at my house, you at my house. You been pulling up on this lady house unannounced for this baby. You don't even know who the daddy is multiple times. But okay, I digress. And she like, and another thing, with you calling me the B word, I mean, if we was good girlfriends, that'd be one thing. But the fact that you are not no friend of mine, don't be calling me out my name. Period. Karen gets upset, and her mother was like, well, did you say that? You need to apologize. That had her even more triggered. She got up like, all y'all need to get up out of my house, and goes to her room. So after she storms off, nobody leaves, and they continue to sit there because Fatima said, I got one more thing to say. And she tried to talk everyone into figuring out the dates. She was like, maybe if she knows the date of her last period, or if she has ultrasound, we can try to pin it to a date. But she don't, she's trying to get down to the bottom of it to figure out who the father could be. But, Zach was like, he hit it first, and Aaron was like, well, he hit it too in the same week. So it's a toss up at this point. And Zach, like, of course you did, because you always trying to be like me. And I'm like, ooh, it's getting messy. Because even poor Aaron, after she done did all that, had that explosive incident with Zach, and then Aaron, before she stormed off, Aaron was like, oh, I'm not trying to compete with Zach, but I still love you. Zach brought up his wife in that situation, and it's just like, yeah, that is a little odd. And I'm like, is he holding on to the something? There's got to be something going on, something deeper with this storyline. Maybe Tyler's still trying to figure it out, so he's just stretching it as far as he can stretch it till it can't stretch no more. But the fact that he heard all this and was like, well, I still love you and I still want, this is crazy. Okay. So they like, we don't know. We both did it. It was like literally minutes and days apart. So we don't know. So y'all know, I used to love me some Paternity Court. Ooh, they cut off a good show. That was my show, honey. I still go back on YouTube and watch the old episodes. They need a petition to bring that show back. But anyway, on Paternity Court, Judge Lauren Lake had gave somebody a paternity test ahead of time. She was still pregnant, and they gave the test before the baby was even born. So I know from watching Paternity Court that you can have the paternity test done before the baby's born. I don't know, how they do it, but it can be done. So I'm surprised. I thought that's where he was going with it. Then she started talking about date of the last period. Girl, that stuff be off. That's like just an idea. It's just a general, that's not putting it down to the wire. We can't go off of that. The only way we'll know is when we get some blood tests done. So Gary and Hayden are at the bar. Hayden is still talking about how Fatima was pressing him. She was on him. Gary still don't believe it. Hayden starts playing mind games with Gary because they were talking about, what they trying to do, taking over Robin's business, whatever. So then it was like talking about, because Hayden like, I can't even believe your judgment is off. Like, she's playing you. Hayden want everybody to be on this hate train with him. He bitter and lonely. He want everybody else to be bitter and lonely too. It's a shame. Even though Gary, if anything, Gary's not good for Andi, not the other way around, but they need to leave each other alone. What is going on with his children? I ain't heard not near mention of them kids or that autistic child in 2 seasons. Or maybe 3. Anywho, so you know what they were saying, okay, if Gary calls Andi, she says he could come over, because he was like, oh, what, you scared to call her, see if she can come over, you think she might be with Robin? And Gary like, no, but he playing it cool, but Hayden getting in his head a little bit like he liked to do. So they made a bet. Basically they were saying like, okay, we'll give each other 3 shares of the company, 3 of our shares. Like, if Hayden is right on the bet, he'll give 3 shares to Gary, and vice versa. So if Andi answers and was like, yeah, Gary can come over, then Gary wins. If Andi is like, no, not tonight, Hayden wins. How are we talking about shares in the company? Y'all don't even know if this little scheme and plot is gonna work. But okay. So Gary calls Andi. She tells him to come over. So Gary won for something that they don't even know if they're gonna get yet. But okay. Calvin comes home. We got to do something with this. Tyler Perry. We got to do something with this storyline. We ain't even barely made mention of Mari's name. We ain't seen Sabrina since. We don't know if she took her faux locks out. We don't know nothing. But we keep seeing Calvin talking about, Q, you need to get out. You need to get out. Whew. I mean, you running this storyline down to the ground. Like, how many times we gonna have the same old redundant scene? But anyway, Calvin comes home. Q is having a house party with thieving randoms. And then I saw he had a nose ring. I'm like, ain't this supposed to be the same day? When he get a nose ring? Okay, whatever. So Q is sitting there doing hard DURGSSS. And Calvin threatens to call the police to get him out. But Q knows Calvin's not going to call the police because his name's not on the lease. He's doing hard stuff. Does your name have to be on the police to call that? I'm sure if you call and be like, hey, this felon in here doing illegal activity, can y'all come get him? They're not going to be like, well, whose name's on the lease? Well, show us the lease. Come on now. If Calvin just scared him, he just scared of him. I mean, it did seem like he was getting the best of him when they had that little scuffle. So Fatima and Zach are in bed. Fatima's explaining why Karen's upset because Zach is acting naive. And, she's like, I understand her frustration. And Zach was like, well, hold on. Before you go to bed, how you know basically about the pregnancy calculation? Boy, if you don't go on Google and look it up. But anyway, she's like, oh, I can do the math. Otherwise, I would have been pregnant by you numerous times. And then they proceed to have a pregnancy scare yet again. But it's like I really like them. But with all this drama, it's been a little damper on it for me. And I'm just looking, I'm like, these scenes here, this is a filler episode. I mean, filled with scenes that we really could have kept in the archives. But okay. So Karen's mom knocks on Karen's door, checks on her, comes in her room, and she's like, well, this is good. This is how the healing starts. Like, I know it don't feel like it right now. It hurts right now, but, once you start healing, then it'll be fine. Yeah, but she could have started healing without writing letters, having them together, reading notes. Talking about, I got that from Oprah. Tyler, we know you good friends with Oprah, but come on now. This was silly and unneeded. So, I started to give him a little tidbit, but word on the curve is that Tyler be stealing material and don't be giving people they just do. But I was going to say, like, even if we wanted to have the two of them together, we're going to have Aaron and Zach in the same room when the baby's born anyway to get this blood work done. When the baby there, we could get to fighting and she can be talking about how she feels. She can't get over Zach and all that stuff. This letter thing was just stupid. Anyway, so they agree that Fatima actually is a cool chick, and Karen's like, that's why it makes it even worse. Like, if she was really a B word, like, it would have been easier for me, but the fact that she's not is making it even harder. Because we all know her beef ain't with Fatima, it's with Zach, period. So Lisa said, I think Aaron really loves you, but is it too good to be true? Like, something off about him. Yeah, I may be giving Tyler too much credit, because this is a Tyler Perry production. But I think, he playing a long game. There's a bigger, there's a bigger objective here. Something is about to go down with that Aaron character. Because I thought he was working at the church. He ain't been back to the church since. He was a pastor, but he was sitting at the desk doing office work. I don't know what's going on. So his storyline might get a little juicy. Then we see Dani. She's having awful sex with that loser that she should have kicked out her place and should have never brought back to her apartment in the first place. So tired of her bringing him into her apartment. Andi is on the phone with her. They briefly mention Sabrina's name. And she says, look, you don't want to be alone. Call Preston. And she like, no, I'm not calling him, being all stubborn. Like, okay, but what you doing with these strays ain't working either. Just call Preston. Then Dani was about to get into something heartfelt, and Andi was like, okay, Gary here, like, call Preston, bye. I said, oof, Andi. There's only the two of them, they might as well get to talking. So Gary comes over, he a little tipsy. So Andi was like, go take a shower, I'll be out here waiting for you. He had threw his blazer down. So she picked it up, like, I'm just leaving the blazer in your place. So she picked it up. And she, there was an envelope sticking out, a piece of paper hanging out. And she, normally anybody else would have just been like, let me mind my business and put it down. But not Andi. She going to read it and see what it has to say. And she's like, this is really what y'all trying to do? So obviously she sees what they're trying to do with Robin and the company. So Dani comes out of the bathroom because she was talking to Andi in the bathroom. And that loser is trying to, pull her on top of him and, trying to get back into it. So Dani was like, I'm really not feeling this. She asked him to leave. She's like, it's not you, it's me, trying to be nice about it a little bit. And he was like, that's what y'all bees do. And she was like, did you call me a what? He was like, yeah, get me all hot and bothered and then tell me to leave. And she was like, don't do it, Dani. And I'm like, Dani, don't do it. You don't know him. You don't know if he's crazy. He's in your house. Wait till he leaves. Then talk whatever issue you want to talk. But don't do it when he's there. You don't even know him. And then you proved this point. He knew you was going to let him come over. You shouldn't have let him come over. But it's too late now. Let him leave before you start talking crazy. So she was like, no, it's because of your little teeny tiny manhood. Teeny weeny, I can't see it, small as rice, whatever she was saying. So the loser proceeding to call her out of her name. She's still going off. And then he smacks her so hard she falls back on the bed. And I'm like, ooh, we gonna go here. We gonna go here. Now, before Preston would have showed up and it would have been like, oh, Preston's here to save the day. I don't know what's going on. We see a scene from the next episode where she got a black eye with sunglasses on, talking about she need a lawyer. It's just, I don't know where Tyler's going with this. But we're going to be back here to ride this ride next week. So let me know what y'all thinking down in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out my other content. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.